So expansion strategies. All right, so why expand? Limit growth at any one location. Profits. As a franchisor, the more outlets you get, more revenue you generate, more profit. Geographic expansion can increase profits dramatically, and it can also, if you grow too fast, then it can hurt you. And the big thing about the growth, and if you look at most, I saw an interesting thing yesterday. Guess which restaurant just surpassed KFC is the #1 seller of chicken. Chick-fil-A.
I demand a recount. Do you think Chick-fil-A closes Sunday?
No, they just surpassed KFC. Yes, as the #1 leading seller of chicken. Okay, but if you look at Chick-fil-A's map, KFC is pretty much nationwide. Chick-fil-A is not even, and their expansion is geographic. And if you look at most companies, and it makes sense, when you start in a region, then you just kind of build. It's like if Chick-fil-A goes to Montana, they have no brand recognition at all. Now, it probably wouldn't take long if you got a good product for people to catch on. But still, that's what you see with like Firehouse. They started in Jacksonville, and if you look at their growth, it's just slowly moving out like that, and that comes with that brand recognition. All right, so when should you begin to expand? The right balance between franchise and company-owned, what outlets own, which is franchise, how to expand geographically, when and how to expand internationally. All right, okay, hold down, please. So when should you franchise? And I agree with this 100%. Not right away. Get a group of company stores going so that you have a model to sell. And who interviewed a franchise? Somebody interviewed a franchise that was like only had just a few. Maybe it was Guthrie's, but somebody else I thought maybe a pizza place. That pizza place that you did. They are very disorganized, correct? It seemed like, but they only have what, 10 or 11 outlets? Yeah. Okay, 14. That's not enough, I think, to perfect all that they need to do to start selling franchise. So that's one of the things, and this takes time, but you need a certain base of like company stores that you run successfully to be able to sell that model and to anticipate problems that the franchisees are going to have. And I think that is very good advice. Plus, the older the firm, the more franchising is likely to succeed because the pizza place, and I've never heard of it, there's no brand recognition at all. Consider the norms in your industry: auto repair, 6 years; lodging, 12 years; child related, 3.8 or almost 4 years. And I think that's what it takes to build that brand. All right, so how many outlets should you own? And the average is 84% of franchise, 16 is company. That's probably not a bad average. You need enough company to be able to use for training, to be able to bring people in, use this model. But if you're going to commit to franchising, you don't want to really be in competition with your franchisees. And that's why I like the Firehouse model. They own Jacksonville. Other than that, it's all franchise. With Hardy, we had a situation, there were 2 towns where you had a company store and a franchise store in the same town. What's the problem with that? Possibly, but even if the locations are far enough apart. Well, you think your reputation of your franchise store would be tarnished by a very poorly run company store? Absolutely. And plus, competing for employees, what happens if you go and hire a company employee way? Now, in your license agreement, a lot of those will tell you you're not supposed to do that. But there's also employment law. What I know about that is they can't tell you you can't hire somebody. You and I can't make an agreement that says we're a third-party worker. The non-compete, you guys have all heard that term, right? Unless you have, and this is a good question for your business law professor, unless you have proprietary secrets or something that's going to hurt the business, you can't have a non-compete. And I don't know if I mentioned this. When I sold my restaurants, the guy that bought them put a clause in the contract that said you will not hire anybody from the stores I'm buying for a period of 2 years. So So when my lawyer read that, he said, this is not enforceable. And I go, what do you mean? He said, well, you and me and Chris can't make an agreement that says where Anthony works, because that's not fair to Anthony. So unless you possess something that's going to hurt the business, some kind of trade secret that would absolutely devastate the business after sale, you can't tell people where they can work and where they can't. But it was problematic in several situations having the company store and the franchise in the same city. I don't like that model at all. Okay, so there's changes over time. Low franchising early on, it takes a while to get the growth going. Then, and Firehouse, once again, look at their model. They put people actually out in the location, and that's when their growth started. And then it's stability, and then you get a decline when older stores start kind of phasing out. Because at some point, you're going to have to, and that's the beauty of McDonald's. You guys remember, it was 3 or 4 years ago, that store up on Thomasville Road? They didn't remodel it, they just leveled it. They came in, bulldozed it, and built a whole new store right there because they own the building and all. Most of us are franchisees. We're going to do a remodel, but after time, it's just you can't make it look new again. All right, so company-owned outlets to perfect the recipe. Success of company outlets demonstrates the values of potential franchisees, and owning outlets shows your commitment to the system because you're contributing to the advertising also if there is national advertising. All right, so once you get them going, keep the number of company-owned outlets consistent. At the point you start franchising, there's really no reason to continue to add company stores. Take advantage of the motivational benefits of franchising, and that is people have the ability to make a lot of money, and keep company-owned outlets for training and experimentation, where you try your new products and can bring people in for training as you get new franchisees. All right, large systems often repurchase their best performing franchise outlets. Not a true statement. I mean, they can't just arbitrarily buy them. And did anybody run into a situation where your franchisee did not have a renewal?
Actually, I don't remember what David said. Basically, if you kept above a certain rating, it just kept going.
But most of them are 10-year with a 10-year renewal, 10-year with 2 5-year renewals, or 20 years. And if you choose not to renew, that's one thing. But they just can't come in and buy your restaurant from you or your hotel from you if you're under contract with them for a length of time. Now, who did Henderson for the motel? My brother ran into him a while back. Do you know why he didn't renew?
Why he didn't renew?
Right.
He told me it was like too big of a project. He had to put too much money in himself. It was all out of pocket.
He was gonna. Okay. So, but he was probably gonna have to come and refurbish it, right?
Yeah.
That's probably 20 years now.
Yeah, it's 20 years.
Okay. So you can choose not to renew it. He sold it to somebody else. Now, I don't know if they're going to renew that same brand. There's also something called conversion franchising where whoever bought it could convert to a new franchise as long as they meet the specs. Okay. All right, increases profit is feasible because greater capital is available, but it may buy back when the market becomes saturated. Now, they will, if you, like when I was going to close my store, we had to offer it to the company, and there were a couple of situations where Hardee's actually bought stores that were losing money because they didn't want to lose market share. And they felt like they could sustain it. They just didn't want to lose their presence in the market. As an individual owner, when I started losing money, there's no way I can keep that store open. I'm not going to feed it. Going. Company has a much deeper pocket. All right, conversion franchising is what I'm talking about. You bring a large number of existing independent businesses under the franchise name. So Century 21 is a real estate company that did conversion franchising. What they did is they took successful companies who were already in business and put them under the Century 21 umbrella. Now, I've talked to realtors before. How do you think, most the successful real estate people in a town, do you think the brand name having to be a Century 1 is going to benefit them? If you're good and people know you and you had
I think it's not so much of a benefit, like, how you're saying if someone's transferring over that knows names under.
Yeah, and maybe some companies that have reload policies might have a contract with Century 21 so that when you move to Tallahassee, you contact the Century 21 agent. or you get that listing if they're, a lot of companies on the reload package will actually buy your home after a certain amount of time, and they might then use Century 21, but for the most part, the realtors that I know said they didn't think it was worth paying a franchise fee and royalties for a name, because it really didn't help that much. But this is probably 20 years, no more than like 20 years old, and I guess what you got, Keller Williams and Prudential and Century 21 are probably the big three in real estate that are franchises. Okay, the beauty of it is you got experienced franchisees. They're already running the business successfully, so really there's no training or anything. And that's, once again, I would pay a big franchise fee. The royalty I can see if the name means something to you, but they're not going to give you any upfront training, I don't see how economies of scale are really going to help you. So you got to look at what are the advantages, what am I getting for my money? And franchisees are used to their own way of doing business. That's the big negative. You're used to running this thing, and all of a sudden you're going to have to follow rules. Century 21 says, we're going to do this, this, and this. All right, so don't franchise without owning some of your own outlets. Buying back outlets, often a great strategy once the system matures and the market becomes saturated. Once again, it's contractual. If you have a contract with that person, they have the right to renew. You just can't go in and buy the store. Okay, franchise those that are located far. Which outlets to franchise? Why do you think you would have franchised things that are way far away from headquarters? Control, right? Because you have somebody theoretically out there that their welfare is based on executing that business plan successfully. So those are good locations. Same thing with Jacksonville being Firehouse. When they get out to Colorado, you don't want a company store out in Colorado if your Firehouse and your headquarters in Jacksonville. You can't maintain control. And I will tell you, you can't, I guess it's possible, but I was talking to Deborah yesterday, and he was bragging that he had never failed a business. And I said, well, I had one go out, but, had I lived in that town, it would not have gone out. My downfall was when I moved to Tallahassee and hired a manager 600 miles away, and I lost control of the place because it was a very labor-intensive business that you had to stay on top of everything. So that's kind of why you want far away. You want somebody there that's got an incentive to keep that place running. Okay, franchise those in rural locations. Once again, why do you think they mean by that? Why would rural locations be possible?
Because if you franchise it, the franchisee is already living there. They know people.
Absolutely.
They know.
In small towns, the community aspect is huge. So if you're the owner of that business, and I was able to leverage that, and you're involved in that community, you get tremendous support versus being in Tallahassee where you may know, I know quite a few people, but not near like you do in a small town. Okay, own outlets in areas without repeat customers. Okay, why do you think company store would be better where you don't have repeat customers? Like an interstate location. Okay, like some of those places out on the interstate, you think they get a lot of repeat business, or just people whoever happens to be randomly traveling by? Right. If you got repeat customers, and the guy that owns the Firehouse on Northeast Capitol Circle, I talked to him one day. He said, I have a very limited amount of people that will come here for lunch because people aren't going to drive a long way. He said, I can't afford to make any of them mad. I can't afford to have poor customer service because these are repeat customers, and I can't afford to lose them. If you got something where people are coming one time, it's not as critical that the service be great, because worst case, what are they going to say? Oh, I'm never coming back here. Well, unless they're traveling up and down that road, it's not going to be an issue anyway. All right, then own outlets in unique locations where it's hard to evaluate performance. Once again, that's because the company can stomach kind of a loss or in unique places where the franchisee, it's got to be measurable to him. They've got to be able to measure the fact that you're making enough money to keep plugging along. All right, so how to expand geographically. Shotgun is foolish, and it sounded like the guy that came in and talked about Quiznos said that was their approach. Just find people, find locations, worry about the rest later. That's not a recipe for success. Expand in geographically limited area until reaching a critical mass. That's for your brand recognition. You get quality control, because once you get locations out of the way from corporate, you have to have a CSR corporate representative that goes around and visits those stores. Once you reach critical mass, then you have one guy can service 20 stores, but if you got one guy serving 10 stores, it's double the cost to the franchisor to be able to hire that person because you're going to pay them a fixed amount anyway. So you want that, and if you have just units way out on their own. Oh, also, what's the other problem with having like just one unit in a place? What's the big problem if we're talking about restaurants? Yeah, food distribution. Okay, can you get, because I know when Hardee's, I got my truck, I would never fill up a semi because they'd have 4 stops on that truck. That's efficient. If you got one place that's 150 miles from nobody, you got to run them stuff, that is not very efficient from a logistics standpoint. No, it's not bad, but you just got to, they need to be at least geographically linked for control and for logistics. And now hotels is a different deal. There's not really, you don't have the logistics, but if you're doing a restaurant chain and like Firehouse, they use only Boar's Head meat, so they've got to have somebody, a Boar's Head distributor. And if you've got 15 restaurants in an area that's no, it is. That's not that geographically. I mean, that you could make probably, well, Miami. You're not going to open just one store. Yeah, but you could have one person. Generally, I would bet you look at the demographics of Miami. Almost any place down there, Miami will have their own customer service person for Miami. Any McDonald's probably has somebody that works just days and hours. Okay, but then it's not working in the state of Florida. Wouldn't be that hard. You know, that's a lot of traveling, but that's what those people do. But guys, even in large corporations like Roadway or whoever, they have people that travel around and check those places out. And that's, if you're one of those staff people, that's your job. There's a lot of miles. And facilitates economies of scale in areas such as advertising. And that's the guy from UPS that he did have some co-op advertising. I think he said, what, put 300 a month into co-op. And that is pretty much when you have enough in a geographic location, you can you have buying power and more people paying for the ads versus you just got one store in the city, you have to run ads, you got to pay for it 100%. Well, that's, you know, you have councils and, but that was the whole company store issue with the situation that I was into. I think I mentioned, Hardee's had 12 company stores, we had 10 franchise stores, so they dictated all our marketing. We had a vote, but we didn't have enough votes ever to sway the outcome. So yes, that is a drawback. You've got to, you want to do something that the rest of the group doesn't agree with, you have to do it on your own. So you're kind of, you hold it to the group. We didn't have a choice. I mean, but I knew when I signed the agreement what the advertising was like, because they told me up front. You know, we have a vote, and right now the company has more stores than franchise. Now, had we got more franchise stores, then we would have controlled the advertising. All right, so approximately 400 U.S.-based franchisors have more than 30,000 outlets overseas. 2 quick questions. When should I go overseas? What changes need to be made to the franchise operations when you go overseas? What do you think is the biggest change?
In the United States, you have a lot of laws that are specific to franchises, but in other countries, they wouldn't be able to structure and protect their assets. And they're the same way they do here.
You think collecting money as a franchisor is easy in foreign operations?
No.
They charge more up front generally because of that issue, getting your royalties paid. And what about cultural issues? I mean, McDonald's has a restaurant in India. They don't serve hamburgers. Well, yeah, it does. It's you can go into a McDonald's and you will have different menus in different places just based on culture. So that's one of the things, you got to do your homework. And I wish, I'm trying to get in touch with the lady. Dunkin' Donuts is a huge one now that's heading into South America.
So, that's what it is once you get North America under control?
Well, that's one of the things that Wall Street looks at, the stock. What do companies, how do they determine the price of stock?
Future cash, future growth.
Okay, yeah, top line, and that's called top line growth. So what's top line growth? What's the top line on your income statement? Sales, right? So they look at, if you're stagnant and not growing your sales, even though you may shrink your, raise your margins and make a little more money, if you, at the point in time, you don't have that top line growth, your stock gets dinged. Look at why do you think Apple's $400 a share? They're not making enough money to justify a $400 a share stock price. But why do you think people are paying that for Apple?
Expectation.
Yeah, the innovation that they've shown in the past and the potential for future growth versus a McDonald's, which is trading for $70, $80 a share. But what's their potential for growth, and where can they go that they're not already there? Well, even internationally, they're pretty much saturated almost everywhere. But they grew domestically first, and that's what happened. They ran out of domestic real estate really where they could put them. So then they started moving into the international. But it's a whole different ballgame once you do that. So when you go overseas, when you're mature, the average is 137 domestic outlets. Your home market saturated, and when you get people from overseas. But once again, if you get a chance to travel overseas now, almost every place I've been, all the major American franchises are pretty much already there. So it's not like this is a brand new thing. All right, master franchising. When you need for international, and so that means we're going to find one person down there that knows that area, knows the business people, knows the climate, and you pretty much rely on that person to do all the work. Higher franchise fees, lower royalties. That is because collecting royalties. I mean, what are you going to do if they don't? Yeah.
Who was the guy that came in? He said that they took money to rescue each week.
That's a pinch penny, wasn't it? But I know Dunkin' Donuts does that now. They autograph your royalty payment every Friday. You could. What if they don't put the money in the bank?
Don't you also have currency rate?
You got all kinds of issues. A whole different currency. Or tell them to take their sign down, or tell them to give you back your intellectual property. It's an issue. All right, but use franchising to minimize political and cultural risk, and then brand name to put at great risk, because people still visit, and when they visit and they had a bad experience, then you still associate it with that brand. But the places I've been, and I went to a couple of McDonald's, I think I told you that, McDonald's I went in Guatemala was one of the nicest McDonald's I'd ever been in. And it had the internet cafe, it had the like Starbucks-like feel, it had the regular McDonald's, and a huge indoor playground. And it was all in one building. And I don't know if they could do that here just simply because of their land that they buy, but it was something, it was something that they try to have something for every demographic. No, there was a Domino's pizza, and
the choices aren't that.
It's mostly the big boys. You're not going to find Popeye's chicken and some of the little franchises. It's the ones that are really, really big that have already saturated the United States.
Did you see any outside of one?
Yeah, there was one. We stayed in a place called Antigua. There's about 30,000 people there, and that's where the McDonald's was, and the pizza place, the Domino's Pizza. Those were in Antigua. But when you go to the big cities, you see everything. Bank of America, Citibank, every American brand that you can think of is pretty much already there. But there's 7 million people involved in all cities. But I was surprised, this town of 30,000, there was a pretty good brand presence from some of the big boys areas. All right, so don't go overseas until your business is established, perhaps exhausted or saturated, and tailor your approach to the overseas market. You rarely use the same exact strategy. Think about this too. What about pricing? When you're in a place like Guatemala, those people have a lot of money. Can they afford like the equivalent of? Almost everywhere I went, they have their own currency, but I never found anybody that didn't take U.S. dollars and know how to translate it. Well, they do have a pretty good cattle operation in Guatemala. We saw quite a few cattle being raised, so they probably didn't have to import the beef. But you're right, food supply and everything. And the prices weren't, I would have expected them to be kind of low because you know, how many people down there just don't make a lot of money. Yeah.
Imagine what hamburger would be like.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be, you know, a fourth of their daily income.
I know, like, one of my friends is from, and she told me, like, she grew up there, like, McDonald's or Pizza Hut, Domino's, that was, like, a nice place to go, like, compared to, like, a birthday, so, like, it was a higher class, like, perceived as higher
Right.
class. So it's completely different, like, fast food is here.
Yeah, because, I mean, face it, they don't have, you know, Fridays, or people could not afford the top-end casual dining that we have, Panera Bread.
I was born in Costa Rica, and exactly like you said, went to Burger King and McDonald's like on Sunday.
The special deals.
And that's why they emphasized the playground, because like people went there and it was like an event, because you're paying $8 a meal, it's really steep for the amount of money you make there as a native.
Right. Yeah, people make what? Right. So that's the challenge. But also, the other thing is, a lot in those big cities, there are people that make money. You know, not a lot of them, not the masses like here, but there are certain people that make money, and you also have a lot of tourists in those places, and Americans gravitate toward those places because we know that there's going to be probably a quality standard that we're okay with versus going to a place that you've never been in before.
No, I was going to say that I was going Dominican Republic.
Dominican?
Yeah. And like people will think like it's a small island, so but there is Applebee's, Fridays, Outbacks, and McDonald's, and all those stuff are like for the kids,
Right.
for celebrating their birthday or something.
So Dominican has Fridays and Applebee's. And
Yeah, and this year they opened the Applebee's.
the Applebee's. Okay.
But Fridays and Outbacks has many years.
For years. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, but it's probably just in the big cities, right?
In the capital.
In the capital. Okay. All right. So summary: 5 factors that you need to consider. When do we start beginning to franchise? The balance between the two, company and franchise. Which outlet zone? Which to franchise? How to expand geographically, and when and how to expand internationally. So look at other companies, what they've done good, and I'm still trying to get a hold of that lady from Dunkin'. I did get an email back from her, but I haven't been able to talk to her. Right, that's when you start going overseas, because, and McDonald's is a perfect example. Where can they put one that there's not already one within 3 miles where there's they are. They're everywhere. And that's that whole top line growth thing that Wall Street is looking for, not just profit growth, they're looking for sales growth. I don't know. And that's an interesting question. At this point, what did they do like 10 years ago? They bought Boston Market. So that's one way to grow too. They could start a different concept or acquiring maybe something that can. Right. Yeah. Well, but they part of the Boston Market thing was a real estate play. The one here on Capitol Circle, they demolished it and put up a McDonald's there. So, all right, no class Thursday. Right? No class Thursday, then we'll do the next 2 chapters next week and test the following week.